Hello guys.
And welcome to the video. So, how's everyone's 2025 going?
As flames light up the Los Angeles hillsides.
Starting tomorrow, the United States will implement reciprocal tariffs on other nations.
Yeah, this year's not looking good at all. With all the disasters, political and economical problems going on, we might have another 2020 tiered year on our hands. Or at least normal day-to-day living. Because entertainment-wise, we're eating so good. 2025 is shaping up to be one of the best years of entertainment, including gaming. We got new entries into Doom, Ghosts, Borderlands, and other series. We got new breakout hits like Expedition 33. And for goodness sake, we are getting a new Nintendo console. Which looks incredibly underwhelming, but still, a new mainline console. Yeah, this year's gonna be so good. But before we get to enjoy the rest of this year's games, and keep ignoring this year's problems, which I don't think we can soon, let's look back at the past, recent past. Because let's not forget how good last year was with gaming. Because I don't know about you, but personally, I had so much fun with gaming last year. More than 2023. So let's start off with my rankings at number. Alright, for number 7, we got the highly anticipated sequel to Space Marine 1, Space Marine 2. This is a third-person co-op horde shooter with heavy emphasis on melee, which sounds super cool and engaging on paper, but in practice, it's fine. No, I sound like I don't care for this game, but listen, I spent $50 on this game. I bought it day one. I'm not a Warhammer fan, but I am a fan of the World War Z video game. And the same guys who made World War Z made Space Marine 2. So when I say this game was disappointing, I didn't want it to be disappointing. If you're a fan of this game and think this game is fantastic, that's great. I'm glad you can find enjoyment out of a game where I couldn't. Don't take it too personally. I'm literally just some random guy on YouTube. So please, calm down. It's just a video game, okay? Alright, so the reason why... What the hell? Hey man, hey, chill! It's just my opinion, bro. It's just my opinion. Hey bro, stop! Ahem. So the reason why I found this game to be disappointing is in its melee combat. If you guys didn't know, action games are one of, if not my favorite genre of game. Especially the really technical ones. The ones that have the solid fighting game influence and mechanics. Like having a neutral game or having like 8 different moves. You know, stuff like that. So when I see Space Marine 2 have enemies that magnetize to your position when they attack, it's kind of heartbreaking. This sticking to target mechanic in video games has been in games for a while. And it is simplifying combat for the worst low-key. It is when you or your enemy magnetize to each other when attacking. It's not no lock-on, it's where you physically slide towards your target, even with the most basic attack. This mechanic essentially makes sure that you always hit for your opponent and enemy, unless you counter, block, parry, or contextual dodge. Basically makes the challenging part of the game just based off timing. Which sucks because it takes a lot of nuance from combat. But let me be super fair, this mechanic does not ruin games. Like Sleeping Dogs, this game is a certified classic, but it has the most passive, least demanding combat system of all time. It doesn't outright ruin combat systems either. Sifu and Arkham Knight has to be one of the biggest abusers of the stick to target mechanic, but despite that, I found both combat systems to be enjoyable, while both of them Batman diffs. However, when I see a game like Shadow of War, a game that I really like, and to think of what it could have been if it had a real combat system instead of what it has, it makes me weep a little. Long story short, this mechanic doesn't ruin combat, but makes it less. And that's why old games are better. Translating this to Space Marine 2, this is how my game sessions usually go. Every time I play, I'm forced to use melee, which I don't like as much as shooting. So I shoot guns and then realize you cannot play this game without melee. So I delete and played World War Z instead. I don't know if I'm missing out on any melee tech or skills, which can make it so you don't have to melee or parry, but how I play is literally like World War Z, and I'd rather play that. Next. You smell that? Beautiful, isn't it? The smell of a wonderful clear afternoon. The singing birds, the freshly cut grass, the late stage capitalism, and of course, the heavy car traffic. Welcome to Parcel Core, which is an arcade time travel racing platformer. It's basically just modern day Cyclist Crazy Taxi, aka Broke Crazy Taxi, and I like it. The main gameplay loop is to pick up and drop off packages from location to location as fast as possible. That means optimizing your route and getting as much speed as you can is going to be the main priority. Learning the map, taking shortcuts, drifting, boosting, and braking are all skills worth acquiring to be good at this game. But what differs from Crazy Taxi is that you're on a bike. So there's going to be an element of platforming that wasn't there in Crazy Taxi. Oh, never mind, they added jump in Crazy Taxi 3. I mean more of a focus on platforming, which I like. Other differences is that Parcel Core got more content with its missions. It's an open world game with sectioned off zones acting as levels. It has online multiplayer, leaderboards, a social hub, an in-game shop with in-game currency, and a story. A political woke story. Yes, it's true. So all of you no politics in video game while having 100 hours in Helldivers 2 people, beware.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Avoid this game, okay? Alright, speaking of unlikable things, negatives, this game got quite a few, but let me hurry up because they aren't that crazy. I hate the size of the UI and subtitles. They're too small. NPCs that give you missions rarely have their voice changed from this
Bellissimo! Mama's so happy she draws like a pasta fasola.
to this once you're done with them.
Hit the road.
And this one is kind of big or kind of pointless depending on who you ask, but the vibes ain't the same.
No, duh. What do you mean?
All I'm saying is that Crazy Taxi and Parcel Core are going for completely different aesthetics. But personally, I just mess with Crazy Taxi more. Like the cozy, nostalgic, corporate beat is well done in this game. The multiplayer lobby has to be one of the best vibes of last year, but I don't know. Crazy Taxi's craziness just feels more right. The game already has you hyped from the jump from the character selection screen. And plus, would you rather run over pedestrians with this music in the background? Or this? But, like I said before, this is barely a negative. It's more of an observation on how rad Crazy Taxi is. Let's hope that new game doesn't flop. Oh yeah, and one more issue. The game deleted all my save files. But overall, I recommend Parcel Corps. It's a really good game.
I can explain.
Marvel Rivals is really good. This is a 6v6 hero shooter released in December 2024. Though it barely qualifies for the list, but 100% deserves it. One of my favorite things about this game is how powerful every character feels. I don't think it's a secret, but it's pretty hard to balance comic book characters in video games. You don't want to disappoint players by making them too weak, or you don't want to break the game by making them too strong. Rivals struck a somewhat middle ground by making every character feel strong, but not comic accurate strong, if you know what I mean. Another reason why this game is so good are the character designs, both visual and gameplay. There is nothing I can say other than they're pretty good. Literally every character has been done justice by this game. Costume wise, you have one of the best renditions of every character. Like him, her, even him. Maybe not him though. And the gameplay kits of every character make sense for that said character. Maybe not support because some of these guys, I expect more of an impact coming from them. But at the end of the day, it is a hero shooter. Someone has to get sacrificed. And yeah, that's it. That's all I really gotta say. I don't have anything else to say because everyone else said it already. So, yeah. Top 5 Marvel Rivals characters. Number 5, Moon Knight. Guys, I have to be honest with you all, but how much I love Marvel with all the characters and media and the generational run that is the MCU, after all that, I still slightly prefer DC.
Is this nigga serious?
I don't know why. They run by the most sociopathic, corrupt company that produced some of the worst media imaginable. But Superman's cool. So seeing that NetEase included the slightly niche Moon Knight into the game and make him like the comics, not like that damn show, makes me happy. Because Moon Knight is just an off-white version of Batman, and Batman is my king. So automatically Moon Knight makes it into top 5 from that alone. Other than his aesthetics, his playstyle can be sick, but also be brain rotty. He can act like a pseudo diver, taking high ground, stalking other players, waiting for an opportunity, and striking, but he can be pretty effective by just spamming projectiles at the enemy tank while also being at the back line of your team. It's low-key passive as hell, but at least the hit marker sounds are satisfying, and you can build your ult fast, and maybe you might just pick up a kill.
What?
Number 4 was gonna be Adam Warlock, but everyone's too good at dive right now, so I'm just gonna cheat and have 2 characters. I don't care, it's my list. Number 4, Adam Warlock and Rocket Raccoon. What makes Adam and Rocket so good is their other specialties from healing, with Rocket's evasiveness and Adam's DPS. Rocket's movement is one of the best in the game. With his dash ability, you can send yourself pretty far, and with 2 charges. You are bound to get away from the enemy with this ability. Aim to the nearest wall and initiate his best movement ability with his wall run. It's fast, flexible, can be used on any wall, and have no charge or no cooldown since it's his passive. With these 2 abilities, you become one of the most slipperiest heroes in the game, escaping danger quickly and easily. Yeah, with Rocket, you don't have to constantly worry about the enemy team, which is nice. But with your team, you better keep those healing orbs up, buddy, because Rocket's heals are low-key trash. Unlike Adam, which is just 1 button press and full health. One of the best healing abilities in the game, in my opinion. And the reason why that's the case is for him to focus on dealing damage. Primary fire is a DMR like hit scan long range precision shot, and secondary is a charge based burst fire of projectiles. And all in the right circumstances, you can do stupid amounts of damage. If you learn when to use each ability or learn when to combine both, he can be a monster in the right hands. His DPS is so good that I honestly think that he's one of the best characters in the DPS check Doom match. Just make sure you use your healing in that mode. Other than his DPS and his heals, Adam's other support ability is really good. Soulbond is basically just reduced damage for you and your other teammates. If used in the right time, can nullify ultimates, an actual game-changing ability. I would put Soulbond in like the top 15 abilities in the game. But if I have to be honest, Rocket's Revive Beacon is hands down top 3, and it's not even 3. You're telling me you are able to revive a dead teammate instantly, basically undoing an enemy kill and denying your teammate that respawn timer, breaking one of the most universal rules of any PvP shooter just to be put on a 45-second cooldown, and can be placed anywhere, and give your teammates armor and mobility? Yeah, it's kind of broken. Like Deadpool 4th wall breaking levels of broken. Like imagine Deadpool was in the game and he couldn't do anything that crazy that consistently. People would be pissed. I won't. I can't stand his ass. So that's it. Best healers are Adam and Rocket, in my opinion. But let's be honest, all healers are amazing, and healer maids are more amazing. You guys deserve so much praise and so much sympathy, because the amount of BS you guys go through is simply atrocious. So that's why, for you guys, number 3, Captain America. I'm joking. The real number 3 is the Backbone Protector, Buchanan Barnes, aka Bucky Barnes, aka Bucky, aka Winter Soldier, aka Winter Soldier. Hey, there is no secret, this guy's a fan favorite. He's one of the most played duelists in the game, and I can tell you why in excruciating detail on why that is, but I think this clip shows it off. So it starts off with me on the retreat from the enemy Groot and Mantis. I I've overextended from my team. Both of them wanted to punish me for it, and they almost did by getting my health all the way down to 20 HP. But thanks to my healer and the stormtrooper aim at the end, I survived and managed to hit the nastiest combo. I slow the group down so the mantis can keep up with the group. I pop a few shots for damage. I managed to hook both of them, pop another shot, hit my uppercut to position them to the corner, and ulted. Yeah, that was crazy optimized. I don't know what set of supernatural abilities I had going on to obliterate a tank and a healer at full health at the same time. Maybe because at the time it was 30 minutes from New Year's and I spent it playing Marvel Rivals. But continuing, I reinitiated my ult. I saw a cloak at half health, so I killed him, and I had a choice to hit my ult on Jeff or Iron Man. I killed Jeff because I know you can hit flying characters like that. I mean, I still don't know, can someone tell me? So I hit Jeff, but decided to whiff every shot of my mag. You can't blame me. He was moving crazy. Only got to hit my E ability on him, which didn't kill him. But it's not the end though, because I did hit Iron Man with the hook and proceeded to execute him point blank on the spot. And that's it. Impressive, right? No? This is just average Winter Soldier gameplay? Another reason why he's number 3 is that he is so cold. The Winter Soldier and Civil War run was generational. If that's all we got of him, just those 2 movies, then he would have cemented himself as one of the coldest characters in fiction. Which they probably should have, because I've never seen someone fall off so hard than this dude. Bruh. But I'll let those 2 slide, Everyone give a round of applause for Bucky Barnes for his solo performance on screen and on screen. Number 2, Captain America. Not gonna lie, the only reason he's up here is because of his GOAT status in the MCU. Or it was. Because the time I wrote this, which was a really long time ago, I really didn't know the potential of Captain America. But after getting some time in, I understand it now. Because to play Captain America, you literally have to be Captain America. You have to embody the captain part, where you're there for your team, sponging up damage, blocking ultimates, taking space, and using your ultimate like a support ult to save your team or the objective. And you have to embody the American part as well, by beating every poor defensive soul you see minding their own business into submission. Yes, as Captain America, you have to brutalize the enemy team while taking care of your own. You have to be the angel and or the demon at any given moment. You have to flip a coin. You have to be Two-Face. Which is another reason why he's number 2. I really like that guy. And plus, Captain America is like the best Avenger of all time, including Sam Wilson. Yeah, Captain America is like one of the most fun tanks and one of the most fun characters in general. I would say he's my king of Marvel Rivals and the MCU. But you know what they say. What's a king to a god? I don't really care about his character. What? I feel like Thor has to be one of the most Marvel characters of all time. Like, his default Marvel design is pretty meh. I think the Nordic / Olympic god angle of the Marvel universe is kind of uninteresting, except for Loki and Hela. And all of his movies but one are mediocre. The only time Thor has really been appealing was that Ragnarok to Infinity War era and Herald of Galactus Thor, aka the Thor from Fortnite. Nah, the reason why he's number 1 is his kit in game. Because in my opinion, he is literally the most perfect character. Great survivability because he's a tank. Good mobility and displacement with his shift ability. Decent melee damage. Really good range damage. Somewhat of a CC with his E ability. And if you know what you're doing, non-existent cooldowns. The only thing he really don't got is something to support his team, other than being a tank. But that's like 1 out of the 50 things he cannot do. And if you couldn't tell from all of his abilities, he's a very active character. Possibly the most because he wants to get involved. But at the same time, you really don't have to play him like that. Always sticking to your team and always playing objective is another way to play him effectively. Especially if you're solo taking. Which if you do, pro tips incoming. Make sure you play passive as hell and always stay in front of your teammates to soak up damage. If everyone does their job, especially the divers and healers, you should succeed in solo tanking as Thor. If not, blame your team. Yeah, that's why Thor's so good. He's flexible. He's basically a DPS in Vanguard's clothing and the biggest solo carry character in the game. If you're one of those players that only play DPS because tanks and healers are too boring, then please play a different game. If not, go ahead and try out Thor. Like literally, the most fun I had in this game is playing Thor. He is the greatest of all time and he has the greatest skin in the game. Or I would say that if didn't end my boy's life. RIP Galactic Talons. Yeah, so they did add Galactic Talons back in a previous event, still for a limited time. So the skin is still time gated and the issue's still here. But at least I got the cop this time. But yeah, the only real negative this game has is that it's a live service multiplayer game. Which isn't a problem on its own, it's just the fact that a lot of disgusting things from gaming come from live services. But thankfully, Rivals isn't disgusting. Not entirely. First of all, it's an actual live service. Updates come out very frequently and actually have content to play with. Not just glorified store updates but tacked on LTMs. Apex. The skins are mostly worth the money, since half the skins are already based off of costumes that characters wore in other media, and they're in third person. Yes, they are expensive, but they have enough appeal to make them worth it. It's not the best like Fortnite or the finals, but it's definitely better than some other games. Apex. The only live service part that I can criticize is that the casual matches can be sweaty. I don't ever play ranked because I don't want to get berated on mic, so I only really play quick play. But sometimes these casual matches can feel like ranked matches. I know I'm part of the problem by only sweating it out in quick play, but these games can turn sweaty real fast. So adding a ranked mode with no stakes like the finals did, so the player base can have a mode where we can be casual and competitive at the same time, would be nice. If not, that's cool. Rivals is still a fun game to play overall. Sure, you may have some bad games, but it's only some, not all. Apex. If I had to rank Rivals on a scale of live service games from worst to best, it'll be on the higher tiers of the scale. It's not the best, but it's better than most. Certainly better than that dog shit game Apex Legends. That's right, Game of the Year winner, best game of last year, beating out every other game, Astrobot, is only number 4. How come? Okay, first of all, there is no way I'm taking the Game Awards as the truth. The Game Award committee are some weirdos, and half the time they cannot discern trash from treasure. So out of all the nominees, it still deserved to win. Wukong fans, suck my dick. But ain't no way they put DLC on that list. No matter how great it is, it shouldn't be a nominee. And from what I heard, it wasn't even that great. Second of all, guys, we gotta be honest. Astrobot was great, but it wasn't that great. The first playthrough I had, I was smiling ear to ear throughout the whole game. My personality went from silent anime protagonist to a whole ass puppy playing it. And when everything was done and the credits began to scroll, I was happy and completely satisfied. So satisfied that I never touched the game again. This game has no replay value, and that's something I really need in my games. I need to sink some time into games I play, especially if they're a full $70. Even Spider-Man 2, where I had 1,000,001 complaints about it, I played that game twice. But unfortunately, I cannot bring myself to go through another playthrough of this game. The game isn't that deep. It's really easy. The most you'll get out of it are the face button / final unlockable / DLC challenge stages, which is actually something, but it's not enough for me to replay the whole game for. It's a perfect game for little kids or game journalists. It has absolutely superb visuals and audio, with light, not too challenging gameplay. Maybe that's why it won. But yeah, the presentation is clearly the best thing about this game. I said this before, but this game has so much magic and character within it. You can tell that there's been a high level of care put into this game. I don't think it's a stretch to say this, but this game is definitely the best looking PlayStation 5 game. The level of artistry, polish, and jovialness is something that the PlayStation 5 has never seen. Maybe GTA 6, but I don't think GTA is gonna have that much jovial moment. And despite what I said before, the game is still fun to play. It is simple, but expertly crafted. The controls, physics, bosses, enemies, etc. are all things that we've all seen before. That's not really a bad thing, because even though we've all seen these elements that make up even the most generic platformers, this has to be one of the best renditions of these elements of all time. And plus, this was done definitely on purpose so that the dev team can put more focus on the visuals. So, in my opinion, this game has no giant flaws, only medium to minor ones. Replay value is something that I value, but not too crazy. This game is better than Spider-Man 2 after all. And the other minor flaw I was talking about is something that has to do with this game and absolutely pisses me off. It's not really an Astrobot issue, but it's a PlayStation issue as a whole. But nevertheless, it's still in this game. And it is how much of an industry plant Horizon Zero Dawn is. If you don't know, Astrobot is supposed to be a celebration on PlayStation with all crossovers and cameos, all that junk. And each world is supposed to represent one of the consoles with a famous franchise from that console, I think. So with the first world, it was PS1 with Ape Escape. Another world was PS5 with God of War Ragnarok. Another world was the PS3 with Uncharted. One of the worlds was actually the PSP with Loco Roco, which is kind of confusing because I barely see Loco Roco anywhere. I honestly associate Ape Escape more with the PSP than Loco Roco. But I didn't care because I wasn't there when the PSP was popping off like that. From what I could have known, this could have been the most hyped game for the console. So yeah, that's it for that one. And for the final one, I was like, bet. It's time to recognize Sony's most recognizable and most successful console, the PS2. Like, you had to, right? If you had to celebrate PlayStation, you had to have the PS2. A lot of my favorite games were on the PS2, and it came out before I was even born. But nah, I was wrong. All that the PS2 got was the first collectible with Ratchet and Clank, and that's it. So I entered the boss level of the world, my dumbass expecting someone like Sly Cooper to pop out. But of course not. Of course not. You should have seen my reaction when I see this absolute nobody appear on my screen. I swear to God, I was legit about to crash out. Cause not only you chose the PS4 over the PS2, you chose Horizon, the most recognizable IP for the PS4. You cannot be serious. She's not even top 5. What are you guys doing? Please, PlayStation, stop treating this Ubisoft ass game like it's hot shit. Stop pushing it. You're already wasting so much money on it. Bro, I swear to God, this is the most forgettable franchise I've ever seen. And you guys released it. And I actually played it. Of course, for like 15 minutes and then I instantly deleted it. But still, stop. The only reason I'll play this series again if I was getting paid to fall asleep. Delete this franchise now. And done. Phew. Finally finished. Let's see how long this vid took me to make. Well then, that took longer than expected, but hey, at least that's out the way for now, and I can finally enjoy the outside world for all of its wonderful and colorful events. Surely everything balanced out from the start of the year, and now to say the world is normal, right?
It's official. The government is shut down.
Jesus Christ. This year is so ass.